Welcome to Inside Auto Podcast, where we feature everyone and anyone you'd want to talk to in and out of the automotive industry.
Ilana Shabtay here with Aharon Horwitz, co-host of Inside Auto Podcast, where we interview top dealers, GMs, marketers, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders in and out of the automotive industry. Aharon, it is so good to be back. It's been 3.5 months.
Ilana, welcome back. A lot of action in the last few months. Yes,
I'm super excited about today. Before we introduce today's topic, though, let's quickly talk about this episode. It's sponsored by AutoLeadStar.com. AutoLeadStar is Automotive's first and leading customer data and experience platform, CDXP. Top dealers invest in CDXPs to unify dealership data sources, automatically create one-to-one customized journeys, and execute omni-channel shopping experiences. It's all in one connected platform. Talk to us if you want to hear more. Today, we're actually going to be talking about this launch. CDXP, we launched it softly before I left for maternity leave, but now we've really gone fully on our launch. We just came back from our launch event in Miami. So Aharon's going to be here. He's going to fill us in on everything that I've missed, everything that dealers may have missed if they didn't come into our live event, which we have recorded. So Aharon, how's it been? Keep us in the loop.
Wait, Ilana, let's first, for our listeners, define this. Are we kicking off season 3?
I actually think this is season 4.
Seriously?
This is season 4. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Time has flown.
Yeah. We're going into our,
We probably need to do a highlights of the past 4 seasons then. I mean, the past 3 seasons.
We do.
Are there, I know we did, but we have to keep doing that.
Keep doing them. Yeah.
Are there many movies whose, I don't know, what's a sequel of a sequel of a sequel? What's a sequel of a sequel? A four-quill? I don't know what it is. Anyways.
But didn't they make 5 Home Alones?
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Was Home Alone 2 better than Home Alone 1?
I think I only saw one. Yeah.
Also, what was good, one of those Batman movies was better than all the others. The Dark Knight, that was a success.
Good. And there's the Harry Potters.
Did those get better over time?
I feel like they did. I'm not a Harry Potter person, but I feel like they did.
I like the books, but I wasn't a huge movie fan.
Yeah. No, our seasons keep getting better. 100%.
What?
Our seasons just keep getting better.
That's what I'm saying. We have to deliver on that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, listen. Well, first of all, welcome back to you. You've had a lot of action in your life. Yeah. We're excited to have you back at the company. And we did indeed launch officially our CDXP, which is our customer data and experience platform. We launched it in Miami, which was the traditional office home of our US hub. And we had some dealers involved, which is really important to us, always to involve the customers. But what we're trying to accomplish there is something that I think marketing out of auto did about 10 years ago, which is a lot of work to standardize or build connective tissue between the different data hubs and silos and bring them into one picture, right? One data view that's usable. And then the component, the partnership, the complement to that is to actually make it useful. So it's not enough to just have data, and it's not enough just to have data organized and cleaned and ready for use. You need infrastructure to use it. And that's what we wanted to accomplish, and why we didn't just become a CDP or just an experience engine, a marketing engine. We really wanted to combine the two of them and be both about the customer and by extension, the car data, right? Customer, car data. And then, of course, the other side of the equation, which is to actually use that data to drive digital advertising, to drive email strategies, to drive other components of the funnel. And that was it.
And how are dealers responding to it? Give us the energy.
Well, so it is a shocking experience in some cases for dealers because they went from either doing a lot of manual labor in the routine nitty-gritty or interfacing with a agency or external partner and being involved in these very granular level decisions without necessarily a science engine behind them, right? They don't have to do that anymore. And so for the first time, a dealer can say, okay, I have a strategy for my digit. I need, pushing new cars, used cars. I want to balance or whatever it is, but I don't need to get into the weeds on what really should be 10, 15,000, 20,000 tests a month that are being run off of the data that I have and against the performance in the market with automation. That is being done by the CDXP, freeing up the dealer team members to really focus on strategy, on direction, on interesting initiatives that can drive extra value. So I think that's the reaction we're getting. Sean Western from Quirk came on to talk about how it was transformative to Quirk in terms of automating things that were done manually, freeing up their resources to do other things. And we're hearing that from other customers as well, like over at Walzer and some of the other ones that we have. So I would say it's had a big impact. I think that what's coming down the pike in terms of the next set of features and products that will surround the CDXP, it's going to even be next level, in terms of giving dealers power over their own data and the ability to leverage it.
Yeah. So two things here that I think are going to be revolutionary. One is it's not just about automating, meaning, yes, you're automating, but you're also taking away all the manuals. So your team can actually be way more efficient. And then the automation actually gives you the ability to run thousands of tests. So you just can't, no human can actually do that. So besides for the fact that your team is actually more efficient, you're also able to run more tests and your performance is just going to be stellar because of that. And you're going to be able to outperform anyone who's doing manual. So I think that's the two things there that you said that I think was worth repeating for those listening. Now, in terms of you spoke about Sean Western, who came to the event or spoke at the event, which is awesome. What was the energy of the event like? Is this something AutoLeadStar is going to be doing? I mean, I know the answer, but let's talk a little bit about this. It's something that no one in the industry is really doing. So I'd love to tap into that a little bit as well.
Yeah, let me talk about that. And then I'll tell you, I think, why it's important. So first of all, the energy was great. We were in this really cool space that Molly, our brand lead, discovered called the Lab in Miami, or the laboratory. I think it was the Lab.
Yeah, the Lab Miami.
Yeah, it was like a really cool co-working space, and we have a lot of historical affinity to co-working. Cool design, cool rooms. Obviously, a little Miami energy in terms of like what was around it, in terms of the food and the just that vibrancy that Miami has. And we had all of our US team in the room, not every single person, but the majority of them, and several of our Israel team that flew in. And so when we did the launch event, we tried to really film it live. We wanted it to be live, even though in the end we had a technical difficulty. It was important for it to be live, and that will continue to be important to us. And we just had such a good time, just such good energy, people cheering and excited. And our vision is really to do this quarterly, because we think that the pace of innovation is really daily. And in AutoLeadStar, if you look at our release logs of our product, we put stuff out every single week, like improvements here and there, little things. But every single quarter, we want to focus in for dealers on one key value point, so they are understanding kind of what the technology that we do can do for them, and make sure that that's coming across in a clear way in a world that's very, very noisy. So that's our goal. A lot of this is sure, it's good for new people to learn about us, but so much of this, for the way that we see it, is for our existing community of existing customers, of existing team members. And we want our developers who are writing the code, and we want our QA team, we want our product team and our operations team, and of course the sales and the CS and marketing, want everyone to know who the customers are and to feel like every quarter we have an obligation to them to bring out something that's going to add value to their business. And therefore we focus around these quarterly events, and it will help us launch. The reason I think it's important also, Ilana, is that, there's so much changing right now in the world around how businesses, and in particular small, medium businesses, can get to customers. And you see on the one hand, like a lot of efforts to make it easier. So Google is releasing a lot of new tools to make it easier just on the dig ad space, right? Just throw in what you want and we'll take care of everything. The text, the keywords, all that. You don't need to worry about that anymore, which on the one hand is great, but it also represents a flattening or a shallowing of what the tools are going to do for you. And if you don't have the ability to inject the industry or the nuances of the car biz into that machine, or you don't have the ability to pull in the data, the first party data, and leverage that in a really intelligent way, you're kind of just going to be that beta of everybody else. And all the alpha value, right? All that like extra value comes, we think it's about 30% improvement, comes really from the types of technology we're developing being applied to what Google and Facebook and others offer and will offer. The other piece that's really challenging, and everyone's seeing this right now, in Facebook and other places, is with all the changes in privacy, it's very, very difficult right now to market as a small, medium business or even as even larger dealers and get the type of cost per lead that you wanted to get in the past. And it's very, very important to have a cross-platform brain, which thinks about Google, Facebook, other channels, email, website. It's got to be investing cross-platform and thinking cross-platform and operating cross-platform. Because first-party data is really important, but sometimes on the third parties, you do get a hit. You find a good thing that you can go after and bring some good quality buyers into the store. So that's where we really think our quarterly events are going to highlight the way that we're thinking about this evolving market and evolving suite of technologies and actually bringing it home for the dealers.
Yeah, that's an interesting approach. And I think you said a lot of things here that really resonate with AutoLeadStar's brand and what we believe in. So people should be expecting our quarterly events so that they can tap into this and understand, who we are and what we believe in and where the industry is going. So thanks for sharing that with us. Before we wrap here, because this is really just a quick comeback episode, just to say welcome back and to get everyone on the same page as to where we've been. When it comes to CDXP, do you see anyone else in the industry doing it? Do you, I think it's important to talk about this stuff just so that everyone knows what's out there, what kind of technologies are out there. Or is AutoLeadStar really pioneering this in the industry? We could talk a little bit about outside of automotive as well, just because I know that it's pretty prevalent there.
Yeah, most of the big companies in the world are using a CDP or CDXP, right? And there's a reason for that. In auto, our attitude towards the market is that it's a big market, even though it's not huge logo wise. There's a lot of value there, and we want to see the best solutions emerge for the customer. We believe that we have enough value add that no matter who else does what, we'll have our place. And so we would love there to be additional solutions and more solutions. And there's some great dealer groups that are pushing on this stuff. Mike Colaccio, our VP Sales, was out at Brian Pasha's CXO Summit. And he's someone maybe we should have on, Ilana, but and was telling me about some of the interesting questions coming from the dealer groups out there.
Yeah.
They're pushing for technology and they want vendors who are thinking strategically.
Yeah.
I hope that there are others, and I hope that we have a good group of people trying to solve these problems because it's too big for one company to solve. What I will say is where we've sort of differentiated ourselves is in our ability to kind of connect the dots and then to actually make meaningful actions on top of those connected dots. And I think that's very hard to do. And we're lucky at AutoLeadStar that we kind of set out to do that from the beginning. So our whole data layer and our execution engine is built ground up to do those things. It's not easy to kludge that together or, with existing softwares and just plug them together or take lots of databases and just pump them together. It's very hard to do it well. So, I think in that sense, I'm very proud of what we've built. And I think we have a unique place in that ecosystem.
Yeah. And I'd also add to that part of this shift to adopting more of a connected platform means that other technologies in the space need to play ball and play along and have open APIs and work together so that everything can be connected for the dealer. So dealerships should be also looking, and challenging their partners to make sure that they are working with softwares and technologies that can communicate with other softwares and technologies so that there is a space for that to grow.
And by the way, I feel like we need to lead by example, meaning I would say rather it's an invitation to others to participate in our ecosystem and recognizing the fact that sometimes, we may have a component that's competitive on the execution engine, but sometimes dealers like vendor A, they're not going to use AutoLeadStar on that, but maybe we have that data connectivity that can make vendor A lot better and a lot more successful. And we want to do that even when it means sometimes, okay, they're not going to use one of our components. Why? Because ultimately that's better for the customers and the industry. And we're confident that we'll have a place in that, and that a rising tide here is going to lift all ships when it comes to those types of connections. So we plan in the next quarter or two to really be inviting as many vendors as we can to tie in and just try to build that. And others are doing that as well and trying to create those consortia so that we're all starting to help the dealer succeed from the same playbook. The same set of connected systems.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, we'll be talking a lot about that in this season. Thank you, Aharon, for filling me in on what's been when I've been out. Although Aharon made fun of me because I was in the office quite a bit during my maternity leave. Here, probably at least once a week.
Ilana, what are you excited about coming back?
I'm certainly excited for just seeing the CDXP rollout, but really how the industry is going to respond to it. I really like that idea of inviting vendors to participate in this, and just that it's a total change of mentality for the industry. It's really allowing the dealers to own their data and market on their data, something that has been really challenging for the industry, unfortunately, until now. So being a part of that and pioneering that and allowing for that in space is something that I'm really excited about, and certainly looking forward to seeing everyone at conferences, which is something between COVID and maternity leave and moving across the world, I've not been able to do as much as I wanted to. So those are two exciting.
Absolutely. We can't wait for the next conference.
Yes.
And of course, lots of Inside Auto.
Yes. And this is Inside Auto Podcast. If you like this episode, please tune in, InsideAutoPodcast.com. We're on every single streaming outlet. So feel free to listen on Apple, Spotify, whatever you want. And if you have any guests for the Inside Auto Podcast, we're filling up season 4. Feel free to refer them to me or Aharon. Thank you again, Aharon.
Thanks, Ilana.
Thanks for listening to Inside Auto Podcast. Check out our other episodes with top entrepreneurs and industry leaders.